So I get a ton of requests from agents asking me about different insurance sales opportunities, and I want to spend some time talking about the Farm Bureau opportunity and some things you as a potential new agent should ask before you decide if the Farm Bureau sales opportunity is right for you. My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. So the reason I'm putting together this video is really to give you some guidelines as somebody probably most likely new to selling insurance. You might not even have your license yet, but you're considering a career with Farm Bureau and wondering if it's right for you. So I've been doing the insurance sales business since 2011, have recruited well over 1,500 agents at this point into the business, and I have experienced a lot of agents who have considered or who have worked at Farm Bureau, and obviously have learned some things along the way as an agent and as an agency manager as well. So I can provide you some kind of insider perspective on what you need to be thinking about as a new agent, so you can decide for yourself if it's a good fit. So let me kind of run through some of these notes here. So the first thing you need to be concerned with is that really the insurance sales business is more of like an apprentice type learning environment. If you can think of the Gilded Age where a craftsman would teach a young man how to do his particular craft, whether it was printing or workmanship or something like that, it would take years from learning from a skilled professional before they would strike out on their own. That's, in a sense, the mentality you have to carry coming into the insurance sales business. It's not enough to just join a company with a brand name like Farm Bureau. You have to go a little further and figure out if the person or agency recruiting you actually has a system to put in place to help you that's based off of a real world experience. So, again, I wouldn't recommend it. This isn't a Farm Bureau thing. It's just for any organization. Don't be recruited based off of brand alone. What can the agent training you or the agency manager training you provide you? Do they actually know how to sell insurance? Again, surprisingly shocking perhaps. There are a lot of recruiters out there that have never sold anything and can't really teach you based off of experience. And as you can imagine, your mileage may vary in those circumstances. So when you're looking at the particular Farm Bureau branch to join and work, ask what kind of experience they have, both in selling insurance as well as training others, because you got to have somebody who's good at both, I think, in order to have a good run at any sort of agency. Next thing on the list here, what's the culture of the regional agency you're joining? Again, kind of related to the first point. There is a brand that Farm Bureau and any insurance agency builds about itself, and there's a culture that they instill in their people. The thing I have found out in the insurance sales business is that culture comes from the top, but how it's interpreted and emphasized differs upon the regions that you're in or even the district offices. So for example, some organizations, not necessarily Farm Bureau, but there are direct sales organizations in insurance sales that may emphasize more recruitment, more of a multi-level marketing strategy, and while others will emphasize, like mine, developing agents to become top producers, which I think is the right way. But you won't necessarily know that by just looking at the company's main brand image. You'll have to investigate what that particular branch office offers. So what I'd recommend is going to an interview. Ask them, what do you guys focus on? Are you a training-oriented organization, training to help producers produce? Or are you more concerned about mass recruitment? Get some perspective from the manager. Certainly ask the agents themselves as well what their feelings on it. Communicate to them on LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And they'll be able to tell you to provide a better perspective. It's not that one is better than the other. We all have our biases that run agencies. You just need to match yours. If you think recruiting's all that, or if you think producing is most important, you need to match the organization that best fits you. Number 3, another really important thing is, can you do some kind of ride-along? Now, this isn't always available to you. Certain organizations in insurance sales have policies about this. But if you can go see if this business firsthand is conducive to your personality, it will help you figure out if A, you should be selling insurance, and then B, if the Farm Bureau opportunity is right for you. So, before you make a long-term commitment and you sign contract, etc., before you go get your license, find out if the insurance business is right. Ask an agent for a ride-along. Ask the manager for a ride-along. See how they react to that. Again, this varies. Some are fine with it, others aren't. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a good thing if you can get it. Number 4, training versus recruiting. Ask yourself what's most important. Again, in my agency, what we focus on is training agents to become top producers first and foremost. I leave recruiting to people who know how to sell and now want to level up their business beyond just personal production, want to recruit others to do the same. But to me, in my opinion, recruiting comes after a successful run in producing. And I think there's fault in running an organization that's just specifically based off of recruiting other people to recruit other people. There's a bunch of weak links in the chain. People don't get trained well. The fallout rate's tremendously high. And long story short, it just isn't a good deal. But make that decision for yourself. And again, back to the original point, align your value system with that one that fits you best. And then number 5, these are just kind of some minor issues. Some of this will apply to Farm Bureau, some of it won't. First thing is, releases aren't going to matter because you're going to be just writing Farm Bureau. You're not going to be brokering different products. You need to ask about vesting. That's the ownership of your book of business. What happens to it if you stay? What happens to it if you go? If you put in a couple of years or if you put in a couple of days and you write sales, do you continually get paid on that? We as independent agents do, if you have the right setup. Not all of them do it, but if an agent works for me, changes his mind 6 months in, shifts gears, he still gets paid on all the business that he wrote through my organization. And one of the reasons we sell insurance, right, is passive income. It's a residual stream of income. So I think it's important to ascertain what level of residual income you receive depending on how long you stay or how little you stay. And then also non-competes. Can you go to your clients? Can you sell them more coverage after you leave State Farm? What's the restrictions on that? I think all of that is really important to consider. So long story short, don't just jump into any sort of sales position of any sort. You always want to do your due diligence, learn more about the business. Insurance sales, if there's one takeaway, is not cut and dry. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of contractual snafus you can find yourself caught in. And the vast majority of agents, frankly, fail this business. And one of the biggest reasons why they fail is they pick the wrong agency. That's why I put these videos together like this about Farm Bureau, State Farm and others too as well, because you need to know kind of what to think about, how to think, so you can make the best decision for you, if even insurance sales is right for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. If you want to see how my agency works, there's links above and below. Just click on them, learn more about my insurance sales opportunity. And if you have any comments about Farm Bureau, more context you want to provide, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time and being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.